What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with MMA community reacts to Conor McGregor news. As promised, Conor McGregor dropped fight news for New Year's, indicating in a video to his fans that he would be fighting Michael Chandler on June 29th at 185 pounds. Immediately, the MMA community was quick to react to the situation, with Michael Chandler quickly reacting by writing, "I always said I wanted you at your biggest, your baddest, and your best. 185 would look good on me." Chandler also followed up with another post, writing, "Don't forget who was a natural featherweight who started his UFC career fighting cherry-picked bantamweights." With plenty of excitement surrounding the fight, Paulo Costa, who has earned a reputation for his online presence, was quick to post a meme, writing, "Chandler at 185 will look like mini Iranian Hulk." Brian Boom Boom Kelleher also weighed in on social media, writing, "Every fighter's dream, no weight cut and a life-changing future secure payday. Congrats, Michael Chandler." Henry Cejudo, who has notably had beef with Conor McGregor in the past, weighed in on YouTube.
I told you guys, there's one thing that Conor does do, is he does keep his word whenever it is that he is gonna fight that certain opponent. So it is Michael Chandler.
Daniel Cormier also reacted on DC and RC.
So my thing is this, 185 is why he's laughing, because it was from the moment him and Michael Chandler got on that show, he essentially told Michael Chandler what to do, what he was gonna do, how he was going to do it. It was going to be his show. And now he's saying he's going to make him fight at a weight class that neither one of them have fought at.
So far, the opening odds for the fight have McGregor sitting as a -115 favorite on DraftKings, compared to Chandler's -105 status. Given that McGregor is coming back from such a significant injury, many have questioned if the lines will shift as we get closer and closer to fight night. Next up, let's take a look at Leon Edwards reveals next UFC fight. While Conor McGregor won't be competing at UFC 300, welterweight champion Leon Edwards will. The champ dropped the news while at the Aston Villa match on Saturday, informing fans of the plan.
Almost different about April, UFC 300 for the next end. And then hopefully summertime, get a show back in America, in a body of, I've been told to the USA, hopefully get it done.
As Edwards also indicated, he's hoping to make a pretty quick turnaround and compete in the summer as well, amid reports that the UFC will be heading to the UK. In the case of UFC 300, the expectation is that Edwards will compete against Belal Muhammad. However, according to Ariel Helwani, Shavkat Rakhmonov was also in the mix for a crack at the belt. As he wrote, "As he mentioned yesterday, the plan is for Leon Edwards to defend his title at UFC 300. As of now, the opponent slated to face him would be Belal Muhammad. Shavkat Rakhmonov definitely was in the mix too." Given Edwards' status as one of the biggest names in the sport, the general consensus is that he could headline the card. However, considering the historic event, expect the UFC to add more than one title fight to the card. Next up, let's take a look at who will headline UFC 300. Much of the speculation that Edwards will headline stems from the fact that many of the UFC's biggest stars are unavailable. In addition to Conor McGregor being booked for the summer, Jon Jones won't be able to compete in time to make a return at the event. In addition, Sugar Sean O'Malley is set to compete in March, meaning that he's unlikely to compete on the card. In addition, Islam Makhachev will be observing the month of Ramadan, ruling him out. This leaves the UFC with limited options. However, as Israel Adesanya recently indicated, he will be looking to return to the octagon sooner rather than later as well. Given that, the UFC could look to book him a big return fight on the card. In the light heavyweight division, Alex Pereira could wind up competing on the card. However, it's unlikely that Jamal Hill will be ready in time to compete for the belt. As one fan wrote, "At this point, I think it has to be Izzy versus Alex 3 at light heavyweight." With another fan writing, "We need Izzy versus Pereira 3 to save us from a disaster Leon Belal main event." Another had another suggestion, writing, "Izzy versus winner of Sean/DDP." One fan booked out the whole main card, writing, "Main card, Pereira versus Hill, DDP Sean Strickland versus Izzy, Leon versus Belal, Grasso versus Shev, Dustin versus Nate." Another predicted fights for the card, writing, "Dana, UFC 300 will be Pereira versus Hill, Belal versus Leon, Grasso versus Chef Mickey 3. With just months to go until the card takes place, it'll be interesting to see what fights are added to the historic card. Next, let's take a look at Aljamain Sterling furious after fight. Over the weekend, Aljamain Sterling competed in a grappling match against Kevin Dantzler, which was filled with plenty of drama throughout the 10-minute affair. Sterling seemed to be unamused by Dantzler, looking to use butt scooting in order to initiate the grappling exchanges from the bottom position. Sterling seemed visibly frustrated, pulling Dantzler around by his ankles several times, while also notably looking to the referee in confusion. After the match, which saw Sterling lose via decision, he ripped his opponent during the post-fight interview.
"Another man can't drag his cheeks on the mat and think that's a win, doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, sports jiu-jitsu guys, But I guarantee you, if that was a street fight, my man would never do that. You know what I mean? So why are we turning the sport into some type of weird spectacle where you can win a match off of your back, doing absolutely nothing?
Sterling also notably entertained fans with a hilarious armbar defense reminiscent of felony Charles Bennett, spinning his opponent around in circles. After the fact, he reflected on the move on social media, writing, "It's just more funny that his backers actually think this attempt had any real danger. I smiled inside and said, let's defend an entertaining way and show how unbothered I was by that. It is what it is." In addition, he also notably reacted to his opponent's strategy in the fight, writing, "Just hate this approach to jits. There's nothing exciting or fun about this for anyone." Given how things played out, it's unclear if the former champ will compete in another grappling event. Next, let's take a look at Tom Aspinall shuts down UFC fight rumor. Alex Pereira and Tom Aspinall, recently both of them fueled speculation that the pair would fight at UFC 300 after Pereira made a cryptic post on social media which read 30 plus 300 equals 3, as Pereira indicated since the numbers came to him in a dream and had nothing to do with a fight at UFC 300 or a move to heavyweight. Recently, Aspinall on social media asked fans who he should fight in 2024, given that he wants to compete in the meantime before Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic fight. A fan responded suggesting Alex Pereira. However, the interim heavyweight champ was then quick to respond, writing, "He wants to defend his 205 title, which I understand." As previously mentioned, Pereira is expected to compete against Jamal Hill for his next fight. At the same time, there's been little news of who Aspinall could compete against in the meantime while he waits for Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic to settle things. After beating Sergey Pavlovich, the leading contender is Cyril Gane. However, Gane likely needs to pick up one more win before competing for another belt. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at MMA community roasts Colby Covington. Fans haven't let up on Colby Covington since his loss to Leon Edwards, with many members of the MMA community continuing to call him out for his pre-fight comments and his lackluster performance. After Covington posted a photo to social media showing himself with a case of Happy Dad hard seltzers, many were quick to point out the irony of the situation. As one fan wrote, "That's a Canadian company, you tool." Another was quick to point out Covington's hypocrisy, writing, "I thought you just said a few weeks ago that you don't drink," while another added, "You don't drink alcohol because you said, I don't put trash in my body, but you'll push it so others drink?" Some members aren't ready to forget Covington's performance at UFC 296, with one fan writing, "This dude embarrassed Trump a few weeks ago." Another joked, "Leon owned you so bad that you became a member of the Nelk Boys." Although Covington has indicated that he is not retired, it's unclear when he'll look to return to action. The MMA community roasts Garry after he posted footage of himself making a hit list for 2024. In the video, you can see Jeff Neal, who is Ian's next UFC fight, then Colby Covington, and the video ends with Sean. Many fans are speculating it's Sean Strickland because of their recent feud, but most logical person would be Sean Brady. The MMA community had this to say to Ian, "All this to get chinned by Jeff Neal. Jesus Christ, Jeff, please kill this motherfucker. Keeping a ledger of the men who shag his wife, no class. Does this mofo have mate tattooed on his fingers? Honestly, the lead up to him and Colby fighting would be hilarious. Dude is climbing to Adesanya cringe levels." Top comments. I haven't listened to every insult Sean has given, but it seems that Sean insults people for their own decisions, as opposed to Drakus, who insulted Sean over something he had no control over. Sean was a victim of someone else's abuse. It wasn't his decision to be hurt by his dad. Whereas, from what I've seen, Sean has taken the piss out of people for something they had control over and did to themselves. As I said, haven't heard of all of Sean's insults, so I might be completely wrong, but I figured I'd mention it because if it is true, then there is a difference. And if it isn't, I'm sure someone will let me know. People are really going to underestimate Sean again. The Irish lad really knows how to keep his name in the headlines. Jim Miller can make UFC 400 if he just moves up a weight category. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.